Hey, welcome back, Red Shoes Diaries. I hope you've had an excellent week. Found you fat and sassy, or whatever else you want to be. I hope you found it. We've had some excellent weather. We got some really great springtime weather. Then we got some rain. I think it's raining now. I planned on doing one earlier up over on the family farm up on the ridge and stuff, but the wind got up this evening. It was flat, just shaking the trees and everything else. Side, well, you probably couldn't hear me, so that wasn't going to do no good. And I decided, well, we'll have to go back down in the basement again. I think next week we've been up to close to 70 or 80. So it looks like we're going to, I'm not sure we're going to do what they used to do is all of a sudden we'd have winter. We have about a couple, 3 weeks of spring, and boom, right back in the summer. Because it's definitely been warm. So I ain't sure which way this is going to go. I think next week there's a time supposed to be 50s, maybe drop back down in the 30s at night. So we'll see, see what it turns into. Whatever Mother Nature decides and the good Lord's got it planned out, it'll be all right. But anyway, been a good week. Been spend time with some of the family, doing different things, and able to enjoy that. And this past Sunday, I went to church, and a man there, I think he's a little older than I am, but anyway, he stood and was talking. In the past year, now that man's had a rough year, diagnosed with cancer, bladder cancer and stuff, and really been, going through it a lot. I mean, this man had 3 different surgeries and, trying to remove it, trying to do what they could do, this. So, not long ago, they told him that they'd come down to this, that, he could do chemo at a place, and there's only one place to do it. And probably from where we live to where it's at, I'd say close to 150 miles one way. So, 300-mile round trip once a week, I think he said, either for 6 or 7 weeks. Or maybe they could do a completely remove, his bladder. Just completely take all that out. And, these are the options they was giving him. And he's like, this is something I need to go home and pray on. I got to go talk to the good Lord about this. He said, and I'll come back a little later. I'll tell you what my decision is. I'll when that time comes, I'll come tell you. So, he came home, he talked to the good Lord and stuff, prayed about it, and asked us to pray for and stuff. So this past week, he went back to the doctor. So his oncologist is looking and looking. There's, checking everything, looking. And finally, the doctor just turns around and looks at him. He goes, I cannot find no cancer on you nowhere. He said, you are literally cancer-free. And he said, I just looked and said, well, my Lord's a physician. My Lord took care of it. He answered my prayers. How awesome is that? For a year, he's been battling this. And, here he is. He goes, I'm cancer-free. They couldn't find nothing. And it's another one of those, they're like, well, we can't explain it. He said, I can, my Lord. Plain simple. And he goes, now, don't get me wrong, folks. He said, maybe if I chose that other path or the radiation and maybe the surgery, he said, I'm not going to tell you that wouldn't have healed my body or that wouldn't have helped me live longer. He said, I cannot say that. He said, because I didn't go through it. But I do know I can tell you my Lord healed my body, and I don't have that to worry. He said, that faith, and he said, I have faith the Lord take care of it. So, how more of an awesome story can you have there, having that faith, and the Lord healing that's awesome. I see there's a lot of, I think the Lord heals you because he is a great physician. And I also believe he brings earthly doctors, physicians in your life who are skilled enough to heal your body. And I truly believe that. But like he said, and I respect him more than anything. He said, I'm not going to tell you that wouldn't have healed me, folks. He said, how can I say that? I didn't go through it. He said, all I can tell you for sure I know is my Lord healed me. And so, that was some awesome news to hear. We had a really good church service. So, sometimes you got to have that little faith of a mustard seed, what the Bible speaks of. And, that's a very large, step out to faith to have. No, I'm not going that route. I'm not going to do the chemo stuff. Plain and simple, folks. But anyway, I hope that makes you give you a little thought. Maybe puts a little smile on your face, makes you say amen. Maybe helps you see that, you never know where the Lord's going to intervene at or what he's going to do. I believe there's reason for everything, folks. And sometimes, the healing is ours. Sometimes we don't get healed. That's part of life. That wasn't where the Lord wanted us, and that's just simple as it gets. And sometimes maybe it's our own faith, that faith of mustard seed, supposedly was said to move mountains, and sometimes it's awfully hard for us, But anyway, I hope that, like I said, gives you something to think about this week. How you're talking to the good Lord, how you're listening to him. I hope you are. I hope you're listening to him, talking to him, and taking that time, folks. Well, I guess I'm going to call this an evening and let you folks go. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for listening. Most time it ain't but 6 or 7 of you, but if it brings a smile to your face or it makes you think a little bit, that's okay too. Everybody's got a mission, a plan, or something other. Something they can do for the good Lord. Maybe this little program, that's all it needs to touch 6, 7 people. Maybe they'll spread it on out around to just keep, they talk about the little puddle throwing a rock in the ripples. Maybe a ripple effect out, folks. Maybe your business is to speak to people when they come into church. Welcome them. Tell them to come back. Maybe sit with somebody who don't. Maybe it's your job to talk to friends who don't go to church and invite them to go. Or maybe they ain't been a long time. Maybe you go back to church even if you don't go there. You're like, hey, I'll go with you if you want to go. Share the message with them. Sometimes it's a simple thank you, simple smile, recognizing them, that they're here. Who knows? That little small thing you do might be the one small thing they need, folks. So as always, I hope that you have an excellent week. I hope the weather stays good for you, and if you're in a rough place with all the weather stuff, I pray for you. Keep your head down, everything goes well, and good Lord protect you. And as always, a buddy of mine would say, may the good Lord take a liking to you. Not too soon, folks. As always, awesome.